What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to take our first look at Nova in PvP action beyond level 9. So that's right, this time around he's going to have access to all of his abilities, and besides just showing him, I'm also going to kind of give my opinion on him, including my critiques. He can be an offensive powerhouse, but he's not without his weaknesses. In this first match we're going to try to illustrate that, all while teaming him up with the Breaker of Men, Skirn. Now for the most part our agent is heavily equipped with debuff items, and that's of course to help out Nova with his level 6. So we have a quick action Neuro Purge which has pressure points, then we're going to go ahead and exhaust the enemies, following that with the next Oblivion. This is going to add Opportunist and pressure points because of our second Horseman piece, the No Mercy. You can achieve this by having any other piece of the Horseman set equipped, along with that Oblivion. This setup item is also going to help out Skirn, whose level 6 exploits Opportunity. So basically what you end up having is two heavy hitters who are capable of one-shotting an enemy. By the way, if you have an extra pressurized AISO, you can also place it on Skirn's level 1 or level 6. And this is going to add pressure points to either one of those abilities, further helping out Nova. It pretty much can make this team even more compatible. Another great tip that was mentioned in the comments of one of my previous Nova videos was that you can place the pressurized AISO on Nova's level 2. This is incredible because you're going to use that every round since it's a quick action. So for Nova's quick action attack, you're going to place Opportunist debuffs as well as pressure points so that immediately sets up his level 6 Nova punches. Of course, the only thing that you're missing is Nova Force Mastery, which enables Paragon Exploiter and Exploit Opportunity. So at the very least you're going to need that buff. However, unless you wait another round, you're not going to have Nova Force control. What this means is you won't have the accuracy bump, and Nova punches won't gain catastrophic. This leads us to our biggest critique of Nova, and what you're about to see. Notice the hit percentage on Nova punches only says 38%, and there you see we hit 1 of 3. Fortunately it does huge damage at over 21,000, so that's certainly the bright spot. However, that accuracy is incredibly low. Apparently I was getting lucky on landing them before, but one item that you can equip is the Dragon's Foot. It causes all unarmed attacks of all allies to gain guaranteed hit and increased chance of critical hits. So with that weapon alone you're going to see quite a difference when using Nova. Of course there are other options such as placing weak point on the enemies, and that way you can make sure that the next attack is a guaranteed hit and crit. My old favorite farmable weapon was the Dark Sigil. That weapon has guaranteed hit, causes weak point to all enemies, as well as burning and Dark Void. And you can find it in Season 1, Chapter 9, Mission 6. Then another cool thing about a team up with Hank Pym is the fact that he has Opportunist debuffs, and also places Staggered on the opponents. Staggered says that the enemy cannot dodge most attacks, and it says ignores most avoidance effects. And just in case you didn't know, 3 of Hank Pym's attacks are unarmed, so they're going to benefit from the Dragon's Foot, and also they're candidates for the pressurized AISO. This includes his level 9, which is a catastrophic AoE attack. So yes, you can turn bug squashing into a pressure points AoE attack. I have to say that's pretty impressive. Then just to throw this out there is a somewhat unrelated thing. Well, this attack does cause neutralized and off balance, which are both Opportunist debuffs. But what I'm getting at is Hank Pym's level 6 Army Advance is a summon attack, so you can use the cooperative AISO to make it a quick action. That's what I ended up trying out, at least for this video. The team worked fairly well, but it wasn't a runaway success. The important thing is the Dragon's Foot is going to work out just fine. Make sure you stick around to the end of this fight because you're going to see Nova on full display. I think we're going to go ahead and set up Null for that final hit. So let's go ahead and use a Growing Pains on Quicksilver, and this should take him fairly close to death. After this, with my agent, we're just going to play it safe, and first use the Fire Tornado to exhaust the enemies, and then I'm going to use the Light Fantastic to heal our team, and remove our debuffs. In most matches prior to this, Null would just go ahead and use You're Not Worthy when exhausted, and then that would be the end of his turn. But every so often he does end up attacking instead. This time he does exactly what we wanted. So with Nova we'll use his Charged Flyby, and that does finish off Quicksilver. And then there you can see Nova punches at 100% hit. So the Dragon's Foot is certainly a very viable answer for Nova. All in all, the final damage for this hit totals over 36,000. We'll certainly take a hit like that any day. Then just to round out this video with one more fight, we're going to be taking on a Quick Lock team. We unfortunately don't have Iron Fist or the Raft Shank, so we may be in some trouble. Right away they go after Nova, but he does dodge the Cosmic Cardinal, and so he gets the counter with a charged flyby. By the way, that's another very strong point that Nova has, his passive, the Black Nova Helmet. It says early warning chance to dodge and counter enemy attacks. So you will see this passive proc quite a bit. Well, it already happened twice in this fight, and now we're going to use it manually, and before we follow that up with a Big Bang Blast, I just want to show Nova punches once again at 100% hit. Remember, this is the start the fight, so it doesn't get any better than that. Unfortunately, our team is going to pay for this AoE with the tag team counter, and after that, Psylocke goes after Hank Pym, and at this point he's severely injured. Still, I'm going to use Army Advance as a quick action, and at least we're going to place Neutralized and Off Balance on all the enemies. Obviously, Quicksilver needed Off Balance, but then something very unusual happens. Apparently, Nova can proc his passive off of Temporal Jump, and so he gets a charged flyby counter. Meanwhile, Bleed is destroying our team. But still, we're going to go ahead and attack with Hank, even though it's going to mean his death. I did this to exhaust the enemy agent just in case, and we also have the pressurized A-ISO on that level 1, so we did place some pressure points debuffs. We'll just have to see if that comes back to bite us. Right now, admittedly, this match isn't looking too good, but we definitely have to use Warm Zephyr, because we need to remove those debuffs and give a little heal to our team. Then after that, I'm going with the Blackest Void, and hopefully someone attacks their own teammate. Everyone cross your fingers. Alright, and right away Quicksilver does hit his own agent, so that helps out immensely. And then after that, I'm actually happy that he went after our agent, at least instead of Nova. But here goes the moment of truth, or you could say the turn of truth. We have a tough decision ahead of us, but first I'm going to use Charged Flyby on the enemy agent, and then I'm going to use Nova Punches on Psylocke. Honestly, this was a very difficult decision. Psylocke was very likely going to use Mental Coordination, and who knows what the enemy agent was going to use. But Psylocke did have much more health, and it was certainly possible that we would gain collateral damage, which who knows, maybe could have taken down the enemy agent. But you know what, it all worked out because all they did was cast the Blackest Void. So now with my agent, I'm going to use Hailstorm, and this will at least place Bleed on Quicksilver. Bleeding is one of Quicksilver's worst nightmares. And then after that, I'm going to use the Light Fantastic, so we do get a small heal, and of course, Mirror Reality. After taking his bleeding damage, he's going to attack our agent, which only heals us, and causes him to take more bleed. Then it looks like he's going to focus on our agent once again, but we are completely fine with that because we're going to try to end this with Nova. Alright, well, a Blast from the Past gives us a little scare, but then we use Charged Flyby, and this will proc collateral damage. Then after that, I'm going to use our Finger Laser on Quicksilver. This has high crits, ignore defense, and fatal blow. It can also gain guaranteed hit and stealthy if he has Nova Force control. So that's another pretty hard hitting ability, especially when you consider it has fatal blow. And with that, we end the video and we win the match. Well, technically with dots, but that was the final attack. So there you have it, a sort of character review of Nova, but more importantly our first look at him with all of his abilities. So that's going to be it for this one, but I would like to thank you all for watching and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and take care.